This is a special report from the CBS 2 newsroom.
Good evening. I'm Antonio Mora with Diane Burns, and we bring you this special report. You're looking at a Walgreens in Joliet. The roof of that Walgreens has collapsed. It is not clear whether there are people inside yet, although hospitals in the area have been notified to expect. They've asked doctors to be on standby in case there are casualties. The reason we're interrupting your regular programming is that the Chicago area, especially north central Illinois and the south suburbs, are seeing some of the worst weather we've seen in years. Numbers, it's not clear how many tornadoes have struck our area, but it is clear that many cities in our area have suffered some significant damage.
That's why we're having a CBS 2 News special report. We do understand that thousands of people, mostly south of Chicago, numbers looking at about 12,500 right now, ComEd customers in the dark. You see here the area where the tornadoes have been reports of actual sightings of tornadoes touching down Granville, Utica, even Joliet. It started earlier this evening, and in one neighborhood in that area, 60 homes were totally destroyed, we understand. So this is a big area we're talking. Steve Baskerville told us it was a tornado. The first one was a half-mile wide, and we heard
we know of at least 4 people injured. There are reports of at least 4 people missing. And actually, let's get to Steve and get a report on exactly what is going on with our weather, where it's going now, Steve.
Well, Antonio and Diane, there's better news to report about what the weather's doing now. We still have the tornado watch that's in effect. That's going to stay in effect until 11 o'clock, but we don't have any tornado warnings for the first half hour in hours. That we have not had to deal with a tornado warning in some county, either in the Chicago area or close by. We don't have a severe thunderstorm warning, but that just expired. We did have some rough weather pass through southern Cook County within the last 15 minutes or so. Around Chatham, it moved northeast at 30 miles an hour. You're looking at the live sweep of the radar. I'll give you a sense now of the area I'm talking about. It's this storm. If you take a look at what I've circled, there's a lot of green and yellow there, I know, but that's the batch of storms that had moved through and was about to affect Blue Island and Dalton and Burnham and Chatham and even Hyde Park with some very rough winds. And they said that these storms had a history of hail the size of quarters or so. So they were not tornadoes, but they were strong enough to make us fearful of the weather in that area. If we can go back to the radar, I'll show you that, give you another sense of the rain that's falling, but these are not problem areas. There's still, people may look and say, well, I see, you know, up around Evanston, there's rain in Wheaton and Aurora. Most of this area was unaffected throughout the night. It was mainly a south side southern story in terms of the southern suburbs, and trying to give you a better sense of how the night went. We'll try to give you a time lapse here as well, but it was mainly from the Orland Park area to Joliet, to places especially south of that area and west of that area that we had the biggest weather problems. This is another live picture that shows you between Chicago and Michigan City the storms that are mainly now out over the lake. So those are no longer severe, but they're the ones that we were very worried about 15 minutes ago. And that loop took you back about 4 hours ago, and you can see storms move right across Joliet, and especially portions of LaSalle County and Livingston and places well south and west of where we are. We'll continue to keep you updated on all of this, but at the moment, no warnings for either severe thunderstorms or tornadoes. The Weather Service has not lifted the tornado watch yet at all, but we're hopeful that that will happen within the next half hour. So they usually, when the weather starts to quiet down, they might let that watch either expire or they'll cancel it ahead of time.
We'll check back in, Steve, with you in a couple of minutes to see what's going to happen, too. For the people on the other side of the lake there, will the storms die out, or are they about to get hit with some of the high winds that have been reported? For now, we're going to turn to Jay Levine, who is in one of the hardest hit areas, Utica, Jay, where a lot of people reported a lot of damage there.
Diane, yes, there is. You can see behind me there is a full-fledged rescue operation going on behind me. This is the little town of Utica. We're about 60 miles to the west and south of Joliet, and here is where the tornadoes touched down. You can see behind me the damage to the buildings. There was down the block here there was a tavern, the Milestone Tavern, that was completely flattened. This was a total stone building that just came toppling down. It's no more than 4 feet above the ground. I'm standing here now with Tom Templeton, who is the LaSalle County Sheriff. We're right on the border between LaSalle and Putnam counties, and this is clearly the worst of it. He's in charge of the operation here. What can you tell us about the extent of the damage in this little town?
Well, most of downtown has been damaged, some severely, some has been totally destroyed. There's other structural damage to most of the buildings in the downtown area. As I said, some of them are completely
We're talking
demolished.
about dozens of buildings in all.
At least 10 if not more.
And the one building that we referred to, the Milestone Tavern, tell us what happened there.
The tornado apparently hit that very hard and collapsed it completely, and that's where the trapped individuals are at. That's what we're working and focusing on right now, is a rescue effort of the people inside the trapped inside the building.
I talked to people who were there right afterward. They talked about digging with their hands, getting people out, trying to move the stones out of place, and they did succeed in getting people out.
Yes.
I'm also told that there's someone who appeared not to make it there. Is that confirmed at this point?
I don't have any confirmed fatalities at this point in time. I believe that there was 9 people. It was up from 8. I previously said 8. Now I'm told that there's 9. I believe that there are 5 at least that are out now, and the rescue effort continues for the other 4.
What about people in other buildings in town? Are they all accounted for? Is everybody safe?
What we're doing now is we're starting to go from house to house, and we're making sure that we're trying to account for everyone that's supposed to be in the residence, and that'll be going on through the night, but it has been going on for the last few hours.
All right, Sheriff Tom Templeton of LaSalle County, thank you. This looks like chaos here, but you've got things well in hand, obviously. So, to show you some of the pictures here, this is the main street, the street that we're looking straight down here in Utica, Illinois. As I say, about 60 miles to the west and just to the south of Joliet. There are rescue personnel here from every single surrounding area you can mention. As far away as Aurora, you can see the truck right here in the foreground. The worst hit area is just down the block. We're standing behind a police line. We do have pictures. We were in there earlier, and as our expanded newscast goes on, we will show you some of the pictures from just inside. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at some of the pictures we can see. I can't see exactly what we're showing right now, but I can tell you that there were houses that were completely pancaked. There was a garage that was completely down. There was a truck that was blown completely off Interstate 80. It was going along. Let me tell you that I knew that this was going to be a bad scene, because as we were driving here at the intersection of I-55 and Route 80, there was a wall of clouds that we could see, clouds stretching all the way to the ground, and everybody knows that is the precursor of tornadoes. We could see that. We thought we saw some funnel clouds embedded in, passing to our south. We headed further to the west, and that's where we came here to Utica. Let's take a little look down the street, down this way in Utica. We're walking along now. We're heading south along the street out from town, and what you can see over here is you can see this house over here with the roof completely torn off it. People still here standing around almost in shock. They had about 3 minutes warning before this tornado hit. They got the sirens hit, everybody dove for the basement, and at that point, not 3 minutes, I was told, after the sirens started, the tornado hit. They could tell by the pressure. We can tell by the pressure. Let's listen to how some of them took it.
It was just, we listened to the radio. I was just getting ready to take her daughter to a friend's house. I heard on the radio that it was going to hit Utica at 6 o'clock. And I came back in, told everybody about it, went and got my mother, and the sirens blew at the fire station. We all went down in the basement, and couldn't have been more than 3 minutes later, you just felt the pressure. I mean, I just felt my ears start to pop. I told everybody, it's here. This is it. And the fire went out almost immediately.
So your house was virtually untouched. Yeah. You went outside, and what did you see?
It just devastation, just total devastation. We ran up, my stepson came in and said they need everybody uptown that can move stuff. And we went uptown, and that's when I seen Milestone Tavern had collapsed. And I seen them, part of the fire station was gone. I noticed the houses next door were gone. It was just unbelievable I mean, I'm still shaking.
I can see. That was local resident Mike Beavers. Mike Beavers is a local resident. He lived about a block away from the Milestone Tavern. What you're looking at right now is a grain elevator. You see how high those grain elevators are? There's one of them completely laying on its side. Right behind it is the Illinois-Michigan Canal. In that canal is a semi-trailer that was completely blown in. Right in front of me here, just moving to the left, you can see the local grade school. This is what's left of the Utica grade school. Looks like it got hit. All the windows are blown out. The fence in front of it completely littered with debris that was blown up. As we walk down back toward the main street, you can see the rescue vehicles that are here. As I say, vehicles from virtually every community in this area of central Illinois. We're perhaps midway between Chicago and Peoria. That's where this town of Utica is. And you can see as we look down this street, this is where all the activity is concentrated. You can see the lights that are still flashing, dozens, perhaps at this point hundreds of rescue personnel are in there. They're looking, and as you heard Sheriff Tom Templeton say, they're now conducting a house-to-house operation, making sure that everyone here in this area is accounted for. You'll forgive us that everything is a little bit chaotic here, mostly on our parts, certainly not on the rescue personnel. Gwen, I want to introduce you to Gwen Alderson. Gwen Alderson lives just down the block here. She was here when the sirens hit. Tell us what you felt and saw.
We came around down here, down the main street right here, and went right over here. And when we got out of the car and we turned around and looked, it was right behind us. So we jumped and ran down the stairs, down into my brother's basement, and you could just hear everything. You could see the roofs and everything just flying off, just flying off, and it was a great big sound. It was just terrible.
Ever been through something like this before?
Never, never, never.
Was it as you imagined?
It was worse. It was just worse. It was so fast, and so we heard the sirens go off as we came right here, and by the time we got right here, not even a half a block, it was right behind us. We just looked and it was black, and it just devastated everything.
You got down the basement, you covered everyone up. How long did it last? Can you tell, or did it seem like an eternity?
Probably about 3 minutes. It seemed like it was like 3 minutes, maybe it was less, but it seemed like we stayed down there like about 3 minutes, and then all of a sudden it was just quiet.
And then you came outside.
And then it was
your
devastating.
first impressions?
We couldn't believe it. I mean, our school is gone, everything. The elevator is gone, everything. It's just smashed. All the houses, everything, gone. Just like that, 3 minutes. That's it.
And the rescue people, they started arriving quickly?
Oh, very quickly, yeah. Up by Millstone where the people are trapped, they were there right away. Everybody was helping and volunteering, and they brought in everything, and they're still trapped. As the last I heard, it's just devastating.
And people at Millstone, I'm told, were just digging with their hands, with their fists.
And they're all local people that are trapped. I mean, I'm sure we're going to find out that it's the people from here, because it's just a small village. It's just a village, and
the bait and tackle shop down the street is destroyed. The ambulance center down the street is destroyed.
The bank, Duffy's Tavern, which is real popular.
It's a landmark.
It's a landmark. It's gone. It's all gone. It's gone. Everything is gone. The school, everything.
But you're okay.
Yeah, we're
and
okay.
so it appears is virtually everyone else in this town.
Yes.
And I guess for that we can be thankful.
Very thankful.
Gwen Alderson, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And Jay, this is Diane back in the studio. Let me take you back, as we all were there, 1990 Plainfield. Everybody south of Chicago had to think about that, although a lot of lessons have been learned since then. 300 people injured, about 28 people killed there. How do you, and looking at some of this devastation firsthand, can you compare now just what's happening today with what happened in Plainfield in the dark?
Well, first of all, Diane, it was very, very different. This is a small rural community. Plainfield, there were just a development of homes, and the tornadoes hit down right there and destroyed virtually every home that was there. Also a little school there. But here, things spread a little wider apart, smaller buildings, smaller homes. But the one thing, and I'm not sure if we can credit the aftermath, what happened in Plainfield, these sirens here were remarkably accurate, and so were the reports about when this tornado was going to hit. The people were told here that this tornado was going to hit at 6 o'clock. It hit at exactly 6 o'clock. The sirens went off, and as I said before, not 3 minutes later, that's when it hit. So people here did have warning, they did pay attention, and as a result of it, I would have to venture a guess that lives were saved here, Diane.
Let's hope, Jay, too, that daylight brings that good news, that perhaps just that little bit of warning. 3 minutes, not a long time, but perhaps maybe the warning earlier of what time it might hit made some people really take heed, which I imagine in the rural areas they would, more than perhaps areas closer to Chicago. So we're going to stand by and get an update from you in just a minute. We do have
and
more.
the sirens have gone off throughout the southern suburbs, and as Jay mentioned, this area is somewhat rural, so fortunately it hit a town, Utica, only about 2,000 people. Granville, one of the other towns where apparently a tornado touched down, only another couple thousand people, but you get a much more densely populated area in Joliet, and that is where Derek Blakely is, and where we've got issues at a Walgreens. The roof there collapsed. Derek, what can you tell us?
Well, Antonio, the roof collapsed, and there were fears as well that the entire building, that there may have been people trapped inside the building. The first thing we can tell you right off the top, good news, there was no one trapped inside the building. That has been confirmed by the police chief, and that is really the best news of the night. We're in the heart of the area here where this tornado hit hardest. It's referred to as the Rainier Jefferson area, and according to the police chief, this tornado affected about a square mile area. Now, if you're familiar with Joliet, he describes the damage area ranging from Des Plaines to Midland and from Morgan to about Western, about a 1 mile square area. The kinds of problems they're dealing with, typical in the aftermath of a tornado, power outages, flooding in some areas of Joliet, trees down onto a number of houses, and the typical bizarre scenes that you see in the aftermath of a tornado, where there'll be a stretch where nothing is touched and then a couple of buildings that are completely destroyed. We saw cars that had been lifted up by the winds, debris and trees, and of course the roofs have been torn off a number of houses and a number of apartment buildings as well. Don't have an accurate number of exactly how many buildings are damaged, of course, and it's in fact hard to see the damage in many places because the power is out in this square mile area. Police are now doing a door-to-door canvass of the area, trying to check on each and every house to make sure that either the house is empty or that the people in there have not been injured. From the reports we're hearing, this came through around 7:30 to 8 o'clock. The timings vary, but we think it was actually probably perhaps closer to 8 o'clock. That's when it hit. It was concentrated in this area, and the damage is rather, as I said, rather concentrated in this area, and yet even within it, there'll be areas of high damage and then areas where it's a bit lighter. There are substantial police, fire, emergency crews on the scene trying to check on the well-being of people here, and also trying to just survey the extent of the damage and trying to also ascertain how long it will be before the power is restored to this area. Of course, there's no firm estimate on that. The utility crews are kind of up to their ears in alligators here in dealing with the aftermath of these winds.
Now, Derek,
I referred to this as just one other point, Antonio.
Sure.
I referred to this as a tornado, but that was actually a bit premature. The police chief said they don't really know whether a tornado or a microburst. They're not exactly sure the exact weather phenomenon that hit here, but obviously there was significant damage done.
Now, Derek, we've been running around, I know you and Jay, trying to find where the worst damage is, so I'm not sure how long you've actually been there, but there are reports of homes that have been blown down in that area. You have not seen any of that?
I have not seen homes completely destroyed. I have seen a number of homes that have significant roof damage, either all or part of the roof that has been removed. We are told that there are some homes that have been completely flattened, and the damage extends close to the edge of the downtown area, according to the reports that we have heard. There's apparently significant damage in the Cathedral District as well as in this area, which is further to the west of downtown. But again, we have not actually seen that with our own eyes, but we are hearing reports of damage in that area as well.
Now, Derek, you heard the people in Utica talking about how they got a siren call and a 3-minute warning to get out. Tell me what the people there are saying. Was there a siren that went off there, or what kind of warning or alert did they get there?
Indeed, there was. There was significant warning, significant time to really take precautions because the sirens did sound. And that is really one of the results of the advances in technology that we have had in the last 10 or 20 years since Plainfield. You know, with Doppler radar and advanced weather technology, we can really track these storms and pinpoint them, and the emergency services can too. And fortunately, that allows people to take cover, take shelter, and take precautions in situations like this. I mean, it's an advance that really is helping to save lives and reduce injuries in these kinds of situations. According to the police chief, there are no reports of any fatalities here, and as yet, no serious injuries that have been reported, although, as I said, they are continuing to canvass and go door to door to check on individual homes.
Now, Derek, we see behind you it's rather dark. Is the power out in that area or any parts of Joliet at this hour?
Yeah, as I think I mentioned, Diane, the power is out here, and the police chief estimated that it's about a square mile area that's affected by the power outage. Now, they have limited access to this area. They've closed off roads, of course, to try to keep out curiosity seekers and also keep away looters as well. But again, it's very hard to pinpoint exactly where the damage is on a lot of the streets. It is just that dark.
All right, Derek, we'll get back to you before this expanded newscast is over for an update on what's going on there in Joliet. But now we have Patty Thompson from the Illinois Emergency Management Agency on the phone. Patty, I don't know how much of this you've been hearing, but apparently, as far as we can tell, the major damage in Utica, Granville, and Joliet?
That's the information that I have at this time, and it is a storm system that appears to be moving, from the west to the east, so we're continuing to check with those areas. I'm here in the State Emergency Operations Center in Springfield, and it's where we have the coordinated response from the state. We have various state agencies here that have resources available if they're needed in these areas.
Patty, can you tell us, since you have that central eye, so to speak, on this, how many or what kind of area we're talking about that is affected just by this whole system that came through?
The first reports that we have of damage were from Putnam County, and that's where Granville is located, and then moving further to the east toward Utica, and then further east toward the Joliet area there. And we do have people out in those areas sending information back to us about what they're finding out there.
Are the storms, as far as you know, continuing to cause damage?
At this time, I don't know of anything further than that, but as I said, we're still in contact as these storms keep passing through the area.
Any idea on the severity of this and I guess sort of the history of this sort of system passing through?
Well, at this point, the information that we have in Granville, apparently there were about 30 homes that suffered major damage and about 30 other homes that suffered some minor damage. In Utica, we did have some building damage in the downtown area, including one building that apparently has collapsed and that people were trapped in. And at this time, I don't have any update on the rescue efforts there, but there were tactical rescue teams on scene and en route. One thing that is helping is the MAVIS system, the Mutual Aid Box Alarm System, state plan. The Red Center for that has been activated, and so they were able to fire teams from other areas in the surrounding area to aid with the rescue there.
Now, I'm sure you are concerned about this, but how much do you know about the possibility of significant damage, since some of those areas are fairly rural? Could there be significant problems in places that we don't know about?
Well, we have people that are continuing to assess the situation and get back to us, and that will be on this throughout the night.
This seemed to hit pretty fast, Patty. Is this, I guess, typical in your line of work, or is this seem a little bit unusual?
Well, to be truthful, weather is somewhat unpredictable, and it often can hit quickly like that.
I mean, in terms of, in Plainfield, they were talking about how it was a sort of a 30-minute window there. Here they talk about 3 minutes. I mean, in terms of the warning and the actual impact.
I think in every case it's somewhat different. I really don't know much else about that to say at this point without having more information on that.
And you really, I'm seeing now that you've declared an emergency medical services statewide disaster response for Utica, and even Chicago Fire Department ambulances and squad cars are heading out that way?
I'm not certain. I would have to check on that at this point, but that could be part of the MABA system that I mentioned.
Right. Yeah, I think you've got people going to that area from a pretty significant part of the state. All right, Betty, we thank you. Patty, I'm sorry. We thank you for all that information.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
Now we have Meg Amato from ComEdison on the phone. Meg, the reports we had heard were that 12,500 homes or so in the southern parts of Chicago or the south suburbs are without power?
Yeah, that number is sort of a fluid number. Right now it's about 14,500 customers.
What area?
And that is primarily in the Joliet area, moving northeast to about Orland Park. We haven't seen the storm affect the city per se. So it is affecting that area. And certainly with the sort of damage we've seen in the Southwest, so ComEd is committed to working through the night and restoring our customers as quick as we can. We have seen a lot of broken poles and wires down, and we are committed to reliability for our customers, and we're also committed to keeping them safe. So we'd like to just ask our customers, if you see any wires down, please stay clear of them, and give us a call at 1-800-EDISON-1 to report the location of a downed wire. We'll get out there and maintain safety for the public.
Thank you, Meg Amato from ComEd. Thank you for that update. Right now, before we turn back to Steve Baskerville for, I guess, an actual track of where these tornadoes touched down, I want to tell viewers that you can send us your pictures of storm damage by contacting our website, and hopefully we can show some of the pictures of the damage on the air during our expanded coverage after 10 o'clock.
Any digital pictures that you could email us, we will take a look at them, and we'd be happy to use them if we can. So let's turn to Steve and see what right now. Steve.
Antonio and Diane, I just want to mention one thing before I do that. Meg had talked about the down power lines and water. We have flash flood warnings in effect because of heavy rain in southern Cook County and Will County too, and especially around Route 171. So those are areas of concern because of heavy rain. But let's get back to trying to track those tornadoes. On our weather director, we've got some images that might give you a sense of how the storms were moving. We got our first report from Marshall County, which is south and west of Putnam and LaSalle, that there was a tornado there, and it was moving to the north and east. So we'll try to take you through the counties. LaSalle County, 2, 3, we had multiple reports of tornadoes on the ground from these huge supercells. Grundy County as well, eastern Kendall and Will County had reported tornadoes on the ground, and so did Kankakee. So you can see that it was mainly a southern and southwestern story in terms of where these tornadoes were, and all the reports that we were getting that of the west to east movement. You heard about that a little bit earlier tonight too. So that's the weather story as far as we know now. We don't know about damage and size of these storms yet in terms of how strong they were until they go out and actually survey tomorrow. Have more for you weather-wise in just a few minutes. I'll see you then.
All right, thank you, Steve. Now, this has been a special report from CBS 2. We are now going to just pause briefly and begin our 10 o'clock newscast.